as a veteran small business owner, what can we do for you?
What we can all do for all veteran business owners is promote each other.
My main mission was to look at tools of technology to leverage small business and give them more of a competitive advantage.
My mission for Veteran Bargains is very simple: to help vets.
That story in itself, to run for Vista City Council, is a journey.
I think this is an opportunity to really collaborate with those gone before us.
It's really kind of a labor of love.
And now your host.
Happy Friday. I'm your host, Laura Torres. Thank you for joining us one more time and supporting this veteran radio show. On this episode, we are focusing on small business and the veteran community. On the back, I have our producer, Michael Woods, our founder and CEO, Joseph Molina, and our social media and manager engagement, Dali Rivera. One thing about the veteran community is that just amazing supporter partners come our way every day. And we are so delighted to introduce you to the powerhouse leaders of the Escondido Chamber of Commerce in this particular episode, Action Panel. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to James Rowten and Chris Cochran, who are powerhouse for the Escondido Chamber community. Also, our host and our guest, founder CEO, Joseph Molina, will join us. But let me tell you a little bit about James. James is a forward-thinking, collaborative leader, a very tactical solutions champion. He's a great friend and collaborator of the Veteran Chamber of Commerce, and we're so delighted that he's here today. Now, for Chris, I cannot speak also highly about him, not enough, right? He's a community relations operating and supporting the marketing process of veteran community and specializing for over 20 years in the nonprofit, in craft beer, marketing industries. I mean, you name it. We have seriously a powerhouse here in the house. And then now we have Joseph Molina. Joe?
Well, thank you very much, Laura, for the introduction. And that is so true. We are very thankful and very honored to have the Escondido Chamber as a true collaborator, community partner. We have been working with the Chamber since our way back, around the year 2000 when we started collaborating with them. And then in 2017, when we moved into the Chamber arena, the Escondido Chamber was a true partner, helping us introduce the concept of the Chamber or the Veterans Chamber into the community. It is the Escondido Chamber where we house our incubator, our Veterans Incubator, which now is basically an online incubator because we cannot go there. But they are extremely supporters of the veteran community, the military community, and we're always. And you were right. James and Chris are very out of the box thinkers, very strategical about things. We sit down and brainstorm ideas, and we always come up with great concepts to implement. So it is a great honor, and I really thank you for being on the show. And it's always a pleasure to be reconnected with you, at least in this format, and looking forward to continue our relationship.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. That's very kind of you and Laura, and we're very proud to be here, and thank you for the invite today. Both Chris and I are committed to doing whatever we can through the Chamber to support the veteran community, so we're proud to be here.
Thank you so much. And we're so delighted to have you and pick your brain about your history and your career, your support in business, and just simply how you can better connect with our community. So thank you for that.
Of course, Laura, and may I just add, you might want to pick Chris's brain because it's much larger than mine. That's why he's wearing a hat today, to try to contain all of the brain power.
Absolutely. We definitely will. And with that, I'm going to go straight to Chris and ask him. So Chris, tell me about yourself. How did you even get started with this whole concept of a chamber?
Okay. Well, thank you, Laura, for having us. As JR said, I want to thank you and Michael and Joe for giving us the opportunity. And actually, my hat is holding in my unbelievably mess of hair that I have during this entire shutdown. But I appreciate James's comment as well. So yeah, as you alluded, I do have an extensive marketing background, and I happen to previously work in two industries companies, one being craft beer and one in the nonprofit world, where I had interactions and did things with the Escondido Chamber of Commerce. I had a relationship here with them, attended events with the chamber, really realized what the chamber does for businesses, whether they be large or small, how we're an advocacy group, we're a membership organization. Both businesses that I previously worked for were members of the Chamber of Commerce. And we really realized how important it was. The chamber's ability to navigate and help people understand the business climate and just the world of business, whether it be small mom and pops, large businesses, veteran-owned businesses, every business has a different type of need, and we try to work with them to find out those needs.
Absolutely, thank you. And it is a great resource. And prior to a small business ownership or a small business just awareness, as a regular growing up, sort of a career-minded military spouse, this is such a great resource for community partners, for individuals, for anyone really, to just connect with the local chamber and find out what great resources and networking opportunities are out there, because the opportunities are endless, and it just, the connections and everything else that you can learn, even if you don't launch your business, just the concept of being connected, it's a great way for you to expand your awareness about your community. Now, James, you being the CEO and founder, how is this Chamber of Commerce concept came to you and your career, and how are you being impacted by this exceptional sort of a career? I find this extremely very enthusiastic way for you to do something in the community.
No, well, thank you, Laura. I will accept the role that I play here at the chamber, but I can't take claim to being the founder, only because this chamber has existed for now over 110 years. So I probably have aged well then. But the chamber precedes me by a bunch of really smart individuals that got collectively together here in Escondido and formed this chamber, making it one of the oldest chambers in Southern California. And I'm very proud to represent it, because Escondido is a great community. It's a community of a bunch of individuals who we believe collectively, if we can come together, have a much stronger voice than we do individually. And that's kind of the concept of chambers. We want to be the megaphone for our business community. Our role here is to create a vibrant community, a vibrant business community in Escondido, where anybody that has a desire to open up a business has the best opportunity to be able to succeed in anywhere in San Diego. That being said, we love to be able to connect with the veteran community and also find a way that we can support them and be able to help them in their quest to integrate back into the workforce. It was kind of our whole idea. But we were smart and strategic in as much as we combined up with somebody that is brilliant on these types of collaborations, and that's Joe Molina. So I'm glad Joe was here and did our introduction and has spearheaded this podcast, because it's just an example of the kind of leadership Joe has shown. And then working together with him, we're trying to find the right fit and trying to work together to help the veterans community. We started with the incubator concept, and we have seen it kind of morph into opportunities beyond, and being able to show examples and real boots on the ground kind of jobs that can be available to the veterans community, and how do we integrate the employer with the opportunity and the veterans themselves. So it's we had a very clear path, and we were moving full speed ahead. And then this little thing in mid-March kind of upended a lot of different plans, but it has not kept our desire and will, as well as our impetus, to still be able to bring this back full force and be able to show to the overall community of Escondido that hiring veterans and working with veterans is the right thing to do. So that's where we're going.
Yeah, no, great. And thank you for that. And if I may just give you a little bit of credit. In fact, you're right. You have been, you took over for a great predecessors and great founders, individuals within the Escondido Chamber of Commerce. But if I may give you credit, you have been the founder of our veteran initiative. So you are, in fact, our founder. So with that, I want to just, make sure, link up a little bit more about what sort of veteran initiatives do you currently have going on, and what does that look like in the future for us?
Really good question, Laura, because that's where we are as everybody has had to, and I don't, it's such an overused phrase, but pivot. We too are pivoting during this pandemic, and we're trying to find the right way to be able to touch and be able to carry on with the goal. And the goal was to be able to bring in and show, the chamber is all about business. We're there to help, to guide, opening up a business, being part of a business, planning a business. These are all these are all challenges that everybody has if they're considering a business, and there's a lot of detail and work behind that. Licensing, financials, being able to fulfill regulations that are necessary, insurance, all the things that are out there that people who have ideas, and particularly the veterans community, we wanted to be able to give them a resource that they could have coming into the chamber and being able to find the ways to help navigate through the planning process, the implementation process, and then being able to also come back in and measure how the processes have worked and what we can do to help make them more streamlined and successful. So what we wanted to do was align the assets of the chamber with the needs of the community and with the strategic minds available to us, Joe, and as well as Chris and the other people that we have, the strong board here that we have that is very committed to helping the community. We're going to find the right way to be able to touch and reach the community and be able to reach our means in the ends of this project. And it's an ongoing thing. We're committed to doing this, but we also know that your audience may be able to help us. We are always looking for best practices. We don't have all the best new ideas, but we are really good at copying others that are doing those and maybe implementing them here also. The incubator idea is one that we feel still works extremely well and could be applicable and has been. But we also like to see what can we do of bringing industry together and the employers together and creating this turnkey program where we can take the skills that the veterans have been able to have and exemplify and learn in their career and apply those in the right way to real jobs that are available right now, and these jobs need to be filled in our community.
Exactly, and we're so thankful for the opportunity to be able to collaborate and explore, and most definitely look forward to what the future it's only going to do for our to strengthen our supportive community, and also to strengthen our options for military families and veterans and veteran and business owners, so that we can really thrive in the Escondido community. So thank you so much for all of that. Now, Chris, given that you are the marketing specialist and really the powerhouse of business owners, what are some of the things that you will suggest for veteran business owners, those aspiring to be successful in your community, that they can use, or what action items are good for them to utilize right now during this moment?
Yeah. Well, I think you kind of said it yourself. I think for a business, any business, to be a part of the community, you really want to be a part of that community. You just don't, the Chamber of Commerce, we don't just want to be 720 North Broadway, an address. We want to have a voice. We want to have an entity that kind of people can understand. So I think you want to be a part of that community. You want to be active. Certainly I think businesses, we've talked about the role of the Chamber of Commerce. I think that businesses should join their local chamber. If they're here in Escondido, they should join our chamber. But I think the chambers are able to navigate and help them get in front of the right people, whether that be influencers, whether that be knowledge, whether that be something that can help their business get off the ground. But also, I think people and every business needs to have that voice. You need to have your voice and own it. And, I know that Joe has worked extremely hard with the Veterans Chamber to have that voice for the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. And James, JR, he is certainly doing that here at our chamber to kind of have that distinct voice. Because one thing that's different is every business is going to be different. They're all going to have different needs. And so you have to figure out what those needs are and to help them navigate and get in front of the things they need in the community. So if some people join a chamber for networking opportunities, some people join a chamber to have that advocacy or to get in front of influencers or to learn things about the city. And so it kind of just depends. But I think for the most part, any business just needs to reach out and be a part of that community and figure out who they could partner with, who they can learn from. James alluded to the fact that we don't know everything, and we certainly look at other chambers to learn learn from them. We look at other businesses of how they could influence us, and we could work together. So that's the big part, I think, for any business. If you're able to give back, give back. If you can give back a little, because you're a small business, give back a little. Maybe as you grow, you can give back more. You can give bigger as you get bigger. And I think the communities and people in those communities understand that. It's very genuine for people to understand how sincere a business is with their footprint in the community. And once they realize that, people will start to support that business more and more.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you brought that and you define it that way, that no business is alike any other. So that we're all very unique and everyone has unique needs and challenges and everything. So that's why it's important to belong to a network that is supportive and has your back and will give you those resources that you need in order for you to continue to grow and expand. And talking about growing and expanding, I would like to shift gears right now real quick and acknowledge our sponsor who's going to join us right now. And recap, we are talking to the Powerhouse of Escondido, but let's give some airtime to our sponsor, so Michelle. Oh, where did she go? Michelle, how are you? Hi, Michelle. How you doing? Can you hear us? Okay, I don't think she can hear us, Mike. So we'll be back with Michelle towards the end. Let's get back into focus. So Michelle must be having some. This is a live, folks. This is live. So this is really real. So the real support, the real bloopers and everything else is happening right now. But we appreciate you hanging in there and making sure that we're going to get Michelle here back in a little bit. So back to you, James. I want to just find out a little bit more about what are some of the things that you have seen has taken notice, or that you've noticed that has taken place right now in our community that has shaped up entrepreneurs and in their mind as far as approaching a small business. And what can you tell us so that we can continue on this path?
So let me make sure I understand the question here, Laura. You're looking for what do we see as opportunities for veteran entrepreneurs?
So not necessarily veteran owned, but just any business. Let me rephrase that. So, we are in a very uncertain times, right? And so a lot of entrepreneurs or business owners who had big plans suddenly come to slow down a little bit or reshape, pivot their message. So what have you noticed that has sort of been brought up to the light as a result of the uncertain times? And
Sure.
what can we learn from these situations?
Yeah, good question. Thank you for rephrasing that a little bit so I could better understand. Not all businesses have been horrifically downgraded or have had a huge. Not everybody's had the same impact from the pandemic as others. There is a lot, and Escondido is proud to say that we have a lot of general contractors and companies that are in the construction industry. And the construction industry is, in fact, still been doing extremely well during this time. And we find that very interesting. And that has created other opportunities that are needed for a skilled set of workers to be able to come in and be able to fill roles and positions that they are having a hard time finding the labor force that they need to be able to do during this time period. So one of the ways that we can do that is by first making sure that these people, who many of them are members here of the chamber, are aware of the opportunities, and we can make a great connection with them and this veterans community. So that's to help find jobs for some veterans that are looking for entrepreneurs that are looking for opportunities here and have an idea that they could want to be able to spring and be able to build on. There, in fact, probably may never be a better time. I mean, you look and see what has happened just in little things, Laura, like, who would have predicted and had any idea that we'd all be required to be wearing masks outside? Well, that has created a whole vacuum of a supply issue, as well as created some entrepreneurial thinkers to come back and say, well, maybe I could be that conduit to be able to help show the way that you can brand a mask, show the things that you could do with masks, help the supply chain of being able to get these masks to people that need those. And from that we've seen that people have started businesses and are doing extremely well filling that need that is there. So entrepreneurs first may have a great idea, but there has to be a need for that idea. And so through this pandemic, there's created needs that aren't being felt, that aren't being met. And there are people out there now that are coming up with some great ideas to be able to meet those needs. It's our role at the chamber to be able to help them, to guide them, and understand that it's one thing to be able to go put up a site and be able to start doing commerce. It's another thing to make sure that you have everything in alignment that you need to do, that you have your errors and omission insurances, you have things that are out there that can back you up and support you, that are the fundamentals that people should be doing in operating a business and protecting yourself, as well as showing your customers and your clients that you are in a legitimate business and that you are the kind of business that they should be wanting to work with. So,
And I am so glad that you reassure and that you really solidify that not all businesses are really, yes, we're all experiencing all the uncertainty, but not all businesses have completely deflated or gone away. Some are actually, realigned their process and, like you mentioned, redesign new ways of doing business. And so I'm glad to see that. I know I'm so proud to see so many members in our community start doing, the mask and designing and doing all kinds of other great things to support the community and support the needs. So thank you so much for that. And I want to give Chris a little bit of some time and ask him, pick his brain about how can we all veterans, military families, or anyone across the United States get involved in the Escondido Chamber of Commerce? How can we take advantage of your resources?
Sure. Well, one example would be, pardon me, Joe and James, mentioned how we were working really close together, the Escondido Chamber of Commerce, the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, with our Veterans Incubator prior to COVID happening. And a couple of things, that we were looking to do is, come this November, on Veterans Day, Escondido will be having its second annual Veterans Parade. We didn't have one until last year, and our new mayor worked with us, the Chamber, and the Veterans Chamber and the Veterans Incubator to do this Veterans Parade. That's something that we're certainly looking forward to. We certainly hope it can happen in November. We don't know. Another program, Trees for Troops, is something that we have thought about and kind of been throwing some ideas around with Joe Molina and the Veterans Chamber of how we could work for that and work with that program and have Trees for Troops be something that the Chamber could embrace and maybe have a Christmas tree lot set up here in our parking lot to where we can get sponsors and community members to buy the trees and then have those trees then donated to veterans businesses and veterans whoever would like those. But I also think just how somebody can get involved with our community is, once again, joining the Chamber of Commerce, finding out what we do. Here we have lots of things that we partner with. We have a monthly government affairs meeting, a monthly economic development meeting, monthly education meetings, and all these basically can get those businesses, whether they be a veteran-owned or small or not, they get them in touch with the right people. They let them learn the things of government affairs that they need to know, or economic development. Right now, everything with economic development is certainly shifting and changing, as James mentioned, almost on a daily basis. So we're having to look at those types of things, but I think it goes back to that being part of the community, being somebody that you want to have somebody out there that really shows, hey, this is what my business is about. Here's how I can give back to the community. Here's what I'm adding to the community and bringing to the table. And we certainly bring that with our advocacy and ability to navigate city entities and stuff like that. So it's important, I think, just to be a part of the chamber.
And if I may just do a general invite here for everyone. This is virtual format right now, so there's no excuse why not to join or connect or even just try out one of those virtual meetings or networking events, the economic development sessions. Reach out to Chris or James and then find out, hey, how can I get connected, right? Because right now it's really open to everyone and all across borders. So there's absolutely no excuse why not to learn more or connect. Right now, I guess that's one of the positive things about all these uncertain times is that we are actually unifying all across all over the place, and I love that. I love that to be able to unify our community even better. And we have some questions. I want to ask Mike if he can bring him over. Michael, we had some questions from a live session that is being broadcasted right now. Oh, is there one particular trend in marketing that you see right now that stands out the most that you would recommend? And I think that's for you, Chris, because you're the marketing. You're the marketing dude.
I think, I'm sure, and I know that James would probably say the same thing. Right now, social media, everything that is happening, we are all, if you look at statistics, social media has increased dramatically the past 4 months. Video conferencing has increased dramatically the past 4 months. I think right now it's really important for video and photos to be able to tell that story. And we're trying to do that more at the Chamber, to incorporate more video into our storytelling. And with every business being different, we talked about that. Every individual is different, every business is different. You're able to tell your story that with video and photos that can relate to people. And I think that's really important right now.
Absolutely. The power of storytelling. That's what it's known out there. So if you haven't yet found out what that is, make sure that you connect, and maybe Chris can tell you what that is. Is there a membership fee to become a member of the Escondido Chamber? Yes. Tell us.
Yes, Laura, there is a fee to become a member. Oh, go ahead, Chris. You go ahead and take this one then.
No, I was just going to make a joke.
Maybe Chris can offer that extra discount and the military discount and that extra perk. Go ahead, James. Who can outbid that?
Hey, we would love to work with we are always open to working up with any of the veteran communities or veterans, period. I mean, we have an open door. Yes, there is a fee to be a member of the Escondido Chamber, but we're very flexible also in as much as we want to be able to support this veterans community, because that's an asset to us. These veterans are an asset to our everything that is involved with our day-to-day living. It's, there's skills that you have learned as being a veteran there. And this is such a vibrant veteran community to begin with. I mean, San Diego as a whole and Southern California is such a supportive area for our veterans community. Escondido is certainly that way also. We have a veteran mayor that is very proud of his association and the time that he served as a Marine. And we are supporting all of the endeavors that he's trying to bring in as he starts acclimating himself and completely get everything going that he's done as a new mayor here in Escondido. And we are there to help support that. But then we are also looking to be able to find innovative ways that we can work together. And there is an organization called Project Cornerstone that we had partnered with prior to this pandemic. And we were starting to build some momentum. Because we know that we can do as many of these things using digital assets that we have, and as Chris pointed out, social media is so important in marketing, but it's also so important in being able to communicate. But we also know that there is nothing more valuable than being able to have one-on-one time or have a FaceTime with a group of people and being able to show what it is that we're talking about vividly when we see that industry has a need here. And we can help match those needs with this veteran community that have been well trained and understood what it is to become integrated into a new field or a new job or a new industry that you're trying to get into. And the benefits are all there also for the employer. That's one thing. But the idea of getting the entrepreneurial side of the veteran community and being able to offer them the assets of what a chamber brings, and those are the real understandings of the underpinnings that are necessary for a business to be successful, and also be able to navigate in a highly regulated state that we live in. And when I say that, one of the things that the chamber does and offers is that we vet out constantly and our resources that we have up in Sacramento, because there are a lot of challenges that are coming down the line with new legislation, existing legislation that has an opportunity to be challenged and changed, that is going on, that's going to affect small businesses right here in Escondido that we need to bring awareness to. We all have the power of the vote, and that's what is really, really, particularly as we're coming up to a major election here in November. We want to also bring awareness to issues and help guide that entrepreneur who is thinking about an idea that they have and they want to get it off the ground. Where do you go to find the funding and the financing? Where do you go to get your pro forma built? How do you do these things that are necessary to be able to make sure that you have the right filing status for your business, whether that be as a sole proprietor, an LLC? We want to be able to give them an idea that, operating a business and having a great idea is one thing, but being able to do it and navigate through all of the challenges that were presented here in California is another level that we want to be able to make sure that we are providing that resource to train, understand, and then we want to advocate for change if we find that something isn't there that is equitable or that we feel that the community is just not able to embrace or we think is wrong. And we can do that by first building that awareness, getting to our sharing that with our community, and making sure then that if it is not exactly what should be, and we want to make some changes, that we have the ability to go to the people that can affect that change. And then if necessary, we will go and find ways to be able to change it at the ballot box.
That's right. Well, and that is such a great way, the way you put it. And I think with that, I'm going to be cautious of your time because I know you guys are busy and I want you to go out there and find more solutions for our veterans community and help us thrive and really connect us and definitely reach to Sacramento all the way so that you can implement great policy. So I'm going to turn it over to Joe. Oh, and then we have Michelle here now. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
So what I would like to do first is kind of say, I know James and Chris wanted to have another meeting to go to, but I wanted to kind of echo what James was talking about. And the idea of our collaboration and our partnership is very important. We have a relationship with the Escondido Chamber, with veterans who are part of the Veterans Chamber of Commerce can also participate within the chamber at a discount. That has already been negotiated with James and Chris, and so the chamber is very supportive of veterans coming into the chamber and be able to participate, test drive the chamber, see if that's a good fit, and cost them almost nothing or nothing. So we have an agreement already set up with them, Laura. So they are great supporters of our chamber, and that's why we love working with them. So on the other side that Jen was talking about it, and one of the ideas that we had was to collaborate with the Escondido Chamber to set up that connectivity with the veteran community, so we can have someone from the chamber become our community partner or a representative within the community who can be the voice, because it's really hard for all of us to do everything. It's really almost impossible. I mean, even someone like with the magic of marketing like Chris does, it's almost impossible to do all of it. So we need someone. So one of the initiatives that James doesn't know this yet, but James and I will be talking about is the community partnership, where we are establishing a certified community military mentor that is trained by the chamber to serve as the voice and the mentor of the community when it comes to issues for the military and the veteran families. And that's very powerful, because then we have someone who's assigned to do that and who serves as the representative of the chamber, both chambers, in the community. So we have someone, a point person who actually goes out and also brings back the feedback from the military community. So we love our partnership. Again, we have already set up an agreement with the chamber, where our veterans have access to the chamber, and we of course have access to the incubator and those things that we truly are grateful for the chamber as being such a great partner with us.
There you go, folks. So, and you heard it right here live, first one. And even James and Chris just found out about this great potential program. So, and this great activity that we'll be doing in the near future. So thank you, Joe, for sharing that. And it's called Empowering Business Building Community. So thank you so much for that. To get a hold of the Escondido Chamber of Commerce, there's the link. So make sure that you guys are connecting with them, with Chris and with James. Also connect with them on LinkedIn. Message us. We're happy to connect you with them. I mean, we want to make sure that you get connected to the powerhouse of this area so that you can get your business thriving and going. And with that, I'm going to take it back again to Joe, because he's going to introduce Michelle, who is ready to go. And I'm so glad that you're here, because Michelle has some great news to share with us.
Yes. Well, thank you, Michelle. We would like to welcome you. Michelle and basically runs the program. It's called BEST, and BEST is our sponsor for the show today. And she would like to introduce her new program about helping working with PTSD, TBI, PTSD mentorship program. And so, but I would like Michelle to explain what that is and how that works. Michelle. Back to you, Michelle. I think Michelle cannot hear us.
Yeah, I don't think Michelle can hear us. So we definitely want to make sure that we make that connection with Michelle shortly.
Yes.
In the near future.
So in the meantime, I will tell you what the program is about. Let us know if you hear us, Michelle, so we can bring you in. But in the meantime, BEST is a app developer company, nonprofit organization that works with people with disabilities, with veterans with PTSD, and they have a grant that allows for us, in partnership with them, to train and develop mentors who then will learn these apps to collaborate with veterans with PTSD. So, okay, Michelle, can you hear us now? I don't think she can.
I don't think she can.
So,
but that's great.
But
so
anyway,
this is such a great grant. This is such a great grant and program. Joe and I reviewed this as we were, prepping to meet Michelle this week. And this is such a great opportunity for veterans and for families to carry out and to utilize it, because it's easy. It's as easy as just accessing it through your phone, through your technology, that everyone is so in tune nowadays, and it's so easy, and just to measure your progress, to check out what's going on, and to develop a case. And so thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing that information, and we look forward to eventually talking to you when we are able to get some actual sound. But for now, we're going to take this moment to just wrap it up. And I know Chris and James had to jump off because they're busy business owners, business people, business mentors. It's really the powerhouse of Escondido. They had to jump off because they had to go to do their, their ongoing Friday wrap up for their business as well, for the chamber. So that was a really great feedback that they have going on, Joe, in the Escondido Chamber of Commerce. So thank you for that partnership.
Oh yes, no, they've been a tremendous supporters, and the advantage of us working and collaborating with so many chambers now. We had chambers like Escondido, Oceanside, Murrieta, Riverside, New York. It just, because we come from a collaboration perspective, we want to help the chambers. We want to help the veterans connect with the chambers. We want to do that connectivity. We don't, we collaborate. We don't compete. So we'd like to make friends, and exactly. I think for the benefit of the veterans.
And I want to go, before we go, I want to pick your brain and just recap a little bit about the incubator, because I was there when it was the grand opening back in the early of the year, and it was such a great momentum to be part of it, to go out there and to see another chamber out, just a regular committee, to welcome the Veterans Chamber and to welcome this program and this activity. And not necessarily that, but to give you a space where veterans can go and coordinate their work, their business, to strategize, a free space for just thinking. You name it. That's what the incubator is all about. Granted, right now we are obviously in the virtual world. We cannot do any sort of activities right now, but we're really looking forward to that, what that looked like in the near future. So just recap and tell me a little bit more about that. Back in those memory lands. Let's go back to memory land.
The thing, we started with the idea of having that space for veterans to go in somewhere and collaborate and work together with no cost and no framework. The idea is to be, it's this entrepreneurial mindset. You cannot have an entrepreneur with a framework and guidelines. It's it's an oxymoron to be an entrepreneur and follow guidelines. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, as long as they're legal, of course. But having the opportunity to provide those things through spaces like the Escondido Chamber, like the now we have also an incubator in Orange County at the beautiful center in Orange County, at the Irvine, on a really beautiful top building. Our host is Savio. So we are developing, expanding this opportunities in different places. We're in talks with other chambers. The other thing, and I think this goes back to a little bit further, so we can wrap it up, Laura. But is the idea that discussing there is now a lot of veterans chambers of commerce everywhere. When we started this, there were just maybe 2 or 3. But now there are everywhere, which that gives an opportunity for all of us to collaborate and to work together in so many different platforms. So we have developed the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce Council, where we're working with chambers like in Arizona and in LA, where we are basically collaborating and bringing everyone into a platform that we all collaborate. We're doing whatever we are doing, and we all should embrace and support what all of us are doing. And this nonsense of just being against each other, there's not such a thing. That's why we work as a unit. We're all veterans. And if someone doesn't like that, they can just basically go and play on their own playground. But all of us, we want to work together as we were in the military. We want to be part of the veteran community. So all of the Veterans Chambers of Commerce are coming together in a cohesive platform to support the veterans that they want to support, and all of us helping each other out. So that's the National Veterans Chambers of Commerce Council that is supposed to officially start in November around our Veterans Day. But this is just a sneak peek of what's coming up.
Sneak peek. That's right. You heard it right here live on the show. And so thank you so much for that. And you're right. I mean, the whole idea of us having this show, this chamber, and everybody else who comes to our network is that they are also equipped with that mindset that we're all one. We're all one unit. We're all one cohesive community. We all work together and collaborate. And if that's not you, then maybe it's not the right fit. But we know how to connect you to the business who can help you develop your business of you. So let us connect you with that, of course. Right. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. And just thank you for joining this particular show, which is Small Business and the Veteran Community. And this is the Veteran Radio Show, where we feature military veteran spouses, veterans, active duty, and small business owners, community leaders, anyone who's willing to support and to explore heroism, action, leadership, anything that happens in our Veteran Chamber of Commerce and all behind the scenes. So this comes here live every Friday at 1:30. We have multiple different talented individuals who join us every Friday. So find out who's next Friday. And with that, thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, James. Michelle, sorry we were not able to get you in, but we'll work on getting you back so that we can definitely acknowledge Savio and your business and your service that you have for veterans and PTSD. Thank you, Joe, and everyone behind the scenes. We look forward to connecting with you next Friday.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.